Hey everyone, this is Chase at Rocky Mountain ATV giving you a closer look at the Formula helmet from Fly Racing. All right, so brand new for 2019, we have the Formula helmet coming from Fly Racing. This helmet's a lot of years in the making, and I'll tell you what, it is a good time to be a motorcycle rider. Over the years, we've seen a lot of companies like Fly Racing step up their game, bring new, innovative technology to make helmets as safe as possible. There's a lot of great helmets out there, but with this Formula helmet, Fly, like I said, they put a lot of years of testing and development into this. Something I think is really cool too is that Fly actually sought out doctors that specialize in specific fields just to bring you the safest helmet possible. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna talk about all the features, all the safety features that are built into this. You're making a big investment here. You're north of the $600 mark. So I'm gonna do my best to give you all the information that you need to know that this is going to be your next helmet. But before we do that, let's just talk about fitment real quick. So with this helmet, make sure you use the sizing guide on the product page to know what size you are going to need. But for me personally, the helmet fits true to size. Size medium, very comfortable. I've tried the helmet on. I've had a lot of other riders here at Rocky Mountain try it on. We all thought that the inner liner was really comfortable. Super lightweight helmet. I'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a moment. But in any case, this is an apparel item, which means if you buy this helmet or any helmet that we sell at Rocky Mountain, if you're not happy with the sizing or the fitment, send it back to us in brand new unused condition. We want to make sure you get the size and the fitment that you are looking for, and that is why we give free shipping both ways on your first exchange. So with the Formula, what they're calling with this helmet is their AIS system. It stands for Adaptive Impact System. And basically what they're saying is that from the shell to the EPS Liner to their energy cells made by RHEON, which we'll talk about, everything obviously is working in conjunction to absorb and disperse as much energy as possible away from the rider's head. So let's talk about the shell. So first thing we'll notice here, carbon fiber shell, but it's a 12K carbon fiber. You're gonna be DOT ECE certified. So what's unique about 12K? Well, carbon fiber is actually the strongest when it is flat. So what 12K means is that there's actually 12,000 filaments of carbon in each band of carbon fiber. A lot of other manufacturers, as they explained to me, use 3K carbon fiber. So by using 12K, your bands are going to be wider, so you're going to have less weaves as you're making this shell, and the less weaving that you have, the flatter it's going to be, and therefore you have a stronger shell. And also using that 12K carbon fiber helps reduce the weight of the helmet. Now I mentioned earlier this is a very lightweight helmet. Well, size medium, 2.8 pounds. This helmet is extremely lightweight. In fact, to date, this is the lightest size medium motocross helmet that I have weighed personally. So if you like a lightweight helmet, I think lightweight helmets are awesome, a little less strain on the rider's head or neck when you're riding. So it's really cool that they're able to get this helmet that lightweight, but still have a very strong, very protective helmet. So with that shell design, you're also going to notice that venting was a big emphasis on this. So their venting design, I think they did a great job. You can see just by looking at it that they made sure it was a big part of this. So looking at the chin bar here, you can see you've got these big vent cutouts here on the chin bar. Obviously, you've got the mouth guard with those vents there. Working your way up, you've got these vents right here just above the eye port, but then you have a couple more here on top. But what I like is that these vents on the top, you can see you've got these big cutouts here on the top of the visor. So that's going to take all that air, push it through the visor, through those vents on the top. And then when you look at the back here, you can see you've got a lot of exhaust vents on the back of the helmet to take that warm air and make sure it gets out the back. But also, as we're going to show you later on with the EPS liner on the inside, they have lots of channels that are cut into that EPS liner to help funnel that air through the back of the helmet. Now with the visor on this, the way they construct it's a thin nylon material, and what you'll notice, a lot of flexibility to this visor. So if a rider does go down, there's gonna be a lot of give there, but also the screws on the side, these are actually beveled, so it doesn't take a lot of force to actually have these come out of the helmet. So you could almost say in a sense that you do have a breakaway visor on the helmet. So that's the outside. We talked about that 12K shell, the venting, the visor. Now let's take a look at the inside because there's a lot of cool features here. So as we flip this over, first thing I'll point out is your chin strap. Again, I talked about keeping that weight down. Your D-rings are actually made out of titanium. So you got titanium D-rings there. The comfort liner, like I mentioned, very comfortable. Pull this out. So there is one of your cheek pads. This is washable, so if you get the helmet hot and sweaty, which I know you're going to, take this out, the comfort liner as well, throw it in the washing machine, dry it, throw it back in there, you're good to go. Pop this one out. Last, we'll get the comfort liner. All right, so there is your comfort liner. You can see pretty unique shape to it, and you see you've got these white dots on here. Well, that's actually working in conjunction with some other stuff, and let's talk about it. So First thing you'll notice when you look at the inside here, pretty unique. You have these big blue things. What those are called are energy cells enhanced by RHEON. So RHEON's actually a really cool material. Now these energy cells, there's 7 of them. They're 8 millimeters thick. And what's cool about RHEON is it is an active strain rate material. Now what that means, and thank you to Fly because they actually sent me a little kit to give you guys a good demonstration here, is that being an active strain rate, what that means is that it will behave differently at different speeds as well as different speeds and when it comes to rotation. So to give you a great idea of just how well this material absorbs impacts, so I've got a piece of RHEON here, I've got your traditional foam piece here, and then I've got this big called a ball bearing. This thing is solid steel, so it's actually pretty heavy. So this is your head. So if I drop it on this traditional piece of foam, you can see just how much that bounced. And the reason the ball is bouncing is because that foam could not absorb the energy coming from the ball, aka the rider's head, and disperse it away. So the energy goes back to the rider's head, and that's what caused it to bounce. But now, if I drop it on this piece of RHEON, that's what happens. The reason that that doesn't bounce is because that RHEON does an incredible job of absorbing that energy from the ball and then dispersing away. So that's what you're getting inside the helmet. Again, you have 7 of those strategically placed. And also what's cool about it is not only does it help with linear impact, so straight up and down, but you can see it has this cool maze looking shape to it. That is done with a purpose. That's to actually help with those rotational forces as well. So linear and rotational energy absorption with that RHEON. Now while I have this open, I just want to point out, like I mentioned earlier, in that EPS liner, you can see you've got all those channels, all those ventilation cutouts, again, help moving as much air through as possible. Last thing we'll talk about with the inside here is their cone head EPS liner system. So you can see it's a pretty unique spin when it comes to an EPS liner. Again, this is when they sought out those doctors who specialize in their fields. So cone head EPS liner is pretty unique. We have a cool graphic that we're going to show you, but it's much different than traditional EPS. So they have 6 pieces of this cone head EPS liner strategically placed in different areas, and what it does, it creates a crumple zone. So by using that cone head EPS, they say it has a more progressive energy impact absorption over just traditional EPS liner, and it's a softer density as well. So softer density that also helps reduce the weight of the helmet, but being softer, what it does is that for lower speed impacts, it helps absorb that energy, but also this, it starts to progressively get firmer, so it does progressively absorb those impacts at those higher speeds. So you've got these energy cells coupled with that cone head EPS liner system to absorb as much energy as possible. And also what's cool about those 6 pieces of that cone head EPS is that each one is strategically has a different density depending on where it's at on the helmet to help absorb the energy depending on where it's at. So again, they really thought this out. And lastly, what Fly found out doing a lot of testing is that majority of your impacts are going to be either to the front of the helmet or right here on the side. So what they've actually done to help with that, they have incorporated some extra EPS liner here on the top, on the sides. You can actually see when you look at the helmet here, you can see how it kind of comes out here. Well, that's where they have put that extra EPS liner as well as in the front, again, to help absorb as much energy as possible in those areas that are more likely to take that impact. The last thing I will point out with the shell is that you do have collarbone reliefs here on the side. You can see I can get my fingers underneath there. So for collarbone injuries, they want to help reduce those. So they have it cut out just a little bit, and also they're using EPP right there versus EPS, which stands for expanded polypropylene. And what's cool about expanded polypropylene is that it retains its shape after it's compressed. So if you grab your helmet, hang it on your bike, it compresses a little bit, it will retain its shape. You're not going to have to worry about that. And that is it. That is the all-new Formula helmet coming from Fly Racing. Again, brand new for 2019. A lot of cool features that are built in. You've got that 12K carbon fiber shell, really good venting design. You've got those energy cells with RHEON, and then you've got that cone head EPS liner system. If you guys have any other questions about it, leave your questions, your comments below. We will get those answered. To pick yours up, it is real simple. Just click on the link at the end of this video. Don't forget, guys, orders over $75 ship free. If you like this product spotlight, you want to see more just like it, we'll make sure to get subscribed to our YouTube channel. That way you stay up to date on the latest gear guides, product reviews, and how-to videos that we're constantly filming. I am Chase. We'll see you on the trails.